Welcome to Everybody Studios. This is Everybody in Charlotte, a series of 15-minute conversations highlighting the people of Charlotte making a difference. Sam Diminich, thank you for having me to Restaurant Constance.
Welcome. Glad you're here. It's good to see you, man.
Should we go backwards?
We might as well. Let's do it.
Thanks for having me here. You know, I typically do these in my studio, but we're changing things up, man. I think doing it on site is a little more exciting, especially with this kind of backdrop.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's rock and roll, isn't it?
It is. Let's roll through a few of them.
Yeah, sure.
We got Sabbath.
That's
know?
from Constance.
Yeah.
The namesake.
Ooh, I love it.
Jimmy Reed. You gotta have some blues up here, right?
Always.
Yeah. that's where everything else
the
kinda
genesis,
comes from.
exactly.
Yeah. And then of course,
Panic,
granola.
of course.
We have to have a granola contribution over here. Bluegrass, the
Yeah.
Ramones. This is actually one of our farmers that brought this by and dropped it off.
Love it.
And I think I was voluntold to put that up there.
Little
Not that-
thrash reggae.
Thrash reggae, yeah. Bad Brains. Soundtrack of our youth.
Isbell.
Jason Isbell.
He's in the sober world, isn't he?
Yeah. In fact, that album is so symbolic because as he was getting sober, most of this music was written.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was in treatment, and my younger sister threw it at me. She came by for a visit and threw it at me. She's like, "You should listen to this. You should listen to this. You might pick up something. Who knows? Might stay sober.
Learn something. You
might stay sober." True story, man.
Love it.
Thanks, Alex.
Love it. First question I love to ask is, if you can,
drum roll.
Tell me a story about a time that you laughed the hardest you can ever laugh.
Oh, wow. Man.
No, this morning, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we did just get done filming the news.
Yeah.
That's always a good time. Kristen Miranda, we love you. No, it would be, I had lunch with my kids this week again. It's always a kid story, it seems. But no, I mean, it's like I look over, one's 20, one is now 16.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're still roasting each other just as hard as they ever had, and that just cracks me up, man. Because we all express ourselves differently, and that's how they express their love for each other.
Just jabbing.
Yeah. If it wasn't that way, I would be worried as a parent. That's how I know they get along really well.
Well, it's funny because I have one child, and she doesn't get to do that, so we all do it.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're like, ooh,
What a burden.
That might have been a little rough. I
where do
don't
we
think
draw
she
the line?
enjoyed that one. I might know this answer, but what would you consider to be your superpower?
Superpower. Oh, man. Connection through food.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Connection through food. I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones. What I do now was kind of chosen for me, and all I really had to do was pay attention along the way.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was a chef, and my dad was a chef, and the industry kind of chose me. They say you don't get to choose it chooses you.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've always done. So I never really had to wonder about what was next in my life. It was just stay on the path, so to speak.
So.
And then through sobriety, you realize it's an act of service, and so I get to do what I love, get to do what I've always done, my career passion, and get to make an impact on people through food in the restaurant and beyond.
Yeah. And now that you've got your new restaurant, I mean, I imagine from what I hear from people who come eat here, that is their response. It's like, his food speaks to me.
Super grateful.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Definitely.
I mean, I send everybody I know here. And I have literally, and this is not me just kissing your ass, nobody gives a bad review. Everybody loves it. You're killing it.
Yeah.
Nice job.
You got a great team, man.
You got a great team, you got a great vision, and your food is insane.
Thank you. We're on menu 18.
Yeah.
We've changed the menu 18 times,
Wow.
which I think has a large contribution to the response, because as the seasons change, where I'll get a text from a farmer with a new ingredient or a new harvest, it goes right on the menu, man. And I think that has a lot to do. Like good food has soul. Mm-hmm. Anybody can make a pretty plate, but I think really, really good food has to have soul. And what we try to do is channel the soul from the farm.
Yeah.
And the story and the process onto the plate.
Yeah. So seedlings, growth, water,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Absolutely.
The lifespan of the food you're eating is the soul.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, so give me, as a chef, often you hear things like, oh, that's the restaurant that the chefs eat at, stuff like that. Give me something like that in Charlotte. Like, where is your little kind of hidden gem of places you like to eat? Yeah,
cool.
feel free to give a multiple.
Yeah, absolutely. So if it's casual, if it's a casual day or evening, I'm gonna hit Tacos del Novato. That's on Central.
Yep.
So I worked in Mexico City, and the first time I ever walked into Tacos del Novato, I felt the energy I felt in Mexico City. Tortillas are made to order. There's moms and grandmothers in the back of the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like the whole vibe.
Children.
And the food is like it's true Mexican, not Tex-Mex. There's a distinguishable difference. And then I love the Indian place up at Optimus Hall, Badiwala.
Abwala? Yeah.
Badiwala. Badiwala. I think for me, like that's the best restaurant in Charlotte. I think it's the
Butter
best restaurant
chicken.
in Charlotte. I mean, like the spectrum is wide, but I think it's street food. It's innovative, yet it's like grounded in history. Like it's a lot of things for me. So whenever I go there, it's like it's a moment. But then like on date night, my girlfriend and I we went to Indaco this week.
Yeah.
And had an impeccable meal. Steve Palmer does a lot of great things with his restaurants. And obviously he's a friend and mentor, but I think like like that positive server energy shows up in the staff and his hospitality.
Yeah.
I've always had appreciation for his places.
Yeah.
Oku, to me, like for sushi, like Oku is where it's at. And it's not really about the seafood. I think the seafood obviously is an important component, but the rice, the way they do the rice there, it's the best I've had in Charlotte.
Right.
In the back there, I call those moments of truth to where like, if you're preparing or cooking or preparing a salad or whatever the case may be, and something doesn't feel right or an ingredient is off or technique is off, you have that split second to make a decision.
Do it over.
And get it right.
Right.
And so there's the moments of truth. And so I think that's where a lot of restaurants come up short in those moments of truth, where it's like it's the difference between good and great.
Yeah. So it's like.
And then you pick up on it.
Right.
You could feel it.
Yeah. Totally.
Somebody doesn't give a shit, you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can taste it.
Yeah. That's so interesting. The kind of ends of
it
of
applies
back
to
here.
life, it applies to sobriety, it applies to a lot of things.
Yeah, go
there's
the
moments
extra.
of truth. Like when nobody's looking, like what are you gonna do? What decision are you gonna make? It's kind of like a
take
fork
the
in the
easy
road.
route?
Yeah, or you're gonna choose door number hard.
Exactly. Go hard every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Try to.
This is a little vague, and you kind of answered it in speaking to people through food, but let's expand on where in your life, right here, are you making a difference in the lives of others?
Oh wow. I feel like I'm a part of I think that's what I love about being alive right now, and especially being involved in recovery. Is you're a part of something bigger than yourself. So I'm just a part of this process of life, and there's a lot of giving and a lot of receiving, but I think what's most important is that it's a collective, and so I think that would be my answer to your question right there.
Yeah.
It's just being included.
Being a part of it.
Like I think we talk about pre-sobriety, and I was talking to somebody earlier this week about it. It's like it's so isolating, and you're alone, and there's a lot of things that that are kind of missing from this formula of happiness that we seek, and I think being alive and being a part of something bigger than myself, ourselves, is the key to finding happiness.
Man, that is well put. I mean, it takes me to like a kind of a visual, and it's especially in the sobriety piece. When you're in the throes of addiction, your goal is isolation, is to not be a part.
I'm busy dying, man. I ain't got time for that.
I don't want anybody to watch it or see it. I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to do it on my own.
Yeah.
Right, and so then you go, the slow steps out of that are one-on-one, one in a group, all that, and then you're establishing a restaurant, and now your restaurant is a part of a community, and even a bigger community across the country, because now you're recognized, and you really are, on many levels, a part of a bigger system.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. But be a part of a collective, I think, there's space for there's space for advancement, there's space for vulnerability, it's okay to be wrong. Like that's been a big focus this week. It's okay to be wrong. We don't have to be right all the time. And I think for somebody like me who's always been like, just hard-headed and there's only one way. And
always
highway.
right.
Yeah. That was the mission, and that's kind of how I grew up too. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to be right.
Yeah.
And what I love about life and the way it's being lived right now by myself and people like you in my life is like I have to be right all the time, man.
Yeah.
And there's freedom in that.
Yeah, totally.
Like a massive amount of burden that's been relieved.
Well, there's something about changing the ethos of those words, like right and wrong. Like, why don't we not have those words?
have
Because
those.
it doesn't. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
And you might not even be right.
Yeah.
You might be doing things that are working well, but that doesn't make you right.
No.
You know, those words are very polarizing.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never thought about it that way,
Yeah.
because I think there's a way to go through life knowing that if you eliminate right and wrong, it's kind of like practice, not perfection. You know, you're never going to be perfect. You're never always going to be right. But you're also never always going to be wrong. So why don't we just look at it as almost this level kind of learning process, which is what we do until we die. If you're a seeker, if you're a grower, if you're a grinder.
Definitely.
You know, I mean, the day I die, I'm going to learn something.
Yeah, absolutely. but as a chef, like I probably get, like 500 questions a day.
Right.
You know what I mean? How's
Right.
this taste? Is the lettuce coming in? Like, where are the strawberries from? You know what I mean? Like, how many reservations do we have tonight? You know, and in my mind, like, you want to do our best, but there's no way I can get everyone's questions right. You know what I mean? So why even like pretend like I can?
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that's where like, life, professional life, personal life, recovery life, they all merge. It's all like we're on one path.
So if you could describe the feeling you get when things are clicking, don't call them right, but when they're working and people are smiling and you're delivering on your mission, how does that make you feel?
I stay out of the way, man. Stay out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you stay
Yeah.
out of the way. Don't interfere. You know what I mean? Take the hands off. You know, and listen.
I love it. So don't even gloat, don't even appreciate, don't even applaud yourself. Just
Absolutely.
let it keep flowing.
Absolutely. Because what got us there to that point was listening and paying attention, right? You know,
Right.
not
So why
not necessarily focused on the
alter it?
goal, you
Yeah.
know, but the journey, you know. And
Yeah.
so I think it's healthy to acknowledge, like, you know, when things are going really well, and especially you know, for a collective group, you know, I own a business, so as a collective group, you know, I'll talk to my team, but like me personally, it's like hands off. You know what I mean? Don't interfere.
Yeah.
Things are going well, all right, and that's the reason why. So
Keep doing what
stay
we're
on
doing.
the path. Yeah.
So what's next?
Oh gosh, we have a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Let's
no,
hear
I
it.
think
Whatever
like,
you want to share. Let's hear
no,
it.
I mean, I think like the next phase of YFYTs is going to show up in community impact meals.
Yep.
You know, I think we're going to steer away from our home delivery service and try to focus on community needs. You know, it was always one of those things where it was like I got the greatest satisfaction of being able to take care of the community edge to edge, doing the food that I cook. But we have some new opportunities coming down the road, which we'll announce shortly, that we're super proud of, man. And we picked up some partners along the way, and some partners picked us up. And 2024 is going to be a baller year.
Now, last time we spoke, you gave me a little insight into possibly some new establishments. Can you share some of that?
Yeah, I'm always looking, always looking. Yeah, I mean, we have some concepts that we want to open up, but you know, we'll take first things first, and you know, I don't want to dilute ourselves from a restaurant perspective, so we'll be careful. You know, and I think we'll take the appropriate steps in expansion. But yeah, we have our ideas on new concepts.
What's one concept you can give me?
You know, I don't think. I think other than like Uptown Yoke, some good friends of mine own Uptown Yoke. I don't think there's like a place for like us to go for breakfast, right? And we did a brunch pop up a couple weeks ago, so we got to test drive some recipes and some ideas, and the feedback was like incredibly positive, and so I think just be on the lookout for that. You know, that's on the radar.
Breakfast. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Like we're coffee drinkers, man, right? You coffee drinker?
Big time,
I gotta have a
dude.
place to eat, man.
I know.
You know,
I'm with you.
and I can only go to Waffle House so many times. Like Waffle House to me is fine dining. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not hating on Waffle House. You know, but for us and to be able to serve the community, we have a lot of ingredients in the back there. When you run restaurants, there's trim, there's excess, and what we want to do is try to eliminate waste and make an impact on people through food. And so we're trying to check those boxes.
Love it. How can we support you? How can our listeners, how can I mean, come here and eat, or is, you know, go to your sites? Is there places to give? Like, what can we do?
Well, yeah, I mean, we do a lot of things. So check us out on yourfarmsyourtable.com.
Yourfarmsyourtable.com.
You know, check out everything that we do from retail, our events, personal chef services, and beyond. And then make a reservation at Restaurant Constance.
Yep.
Come
Right
see
cheer.
us and dinner. Yeah,
Right
man.
cheer.
Yep. And you know, and what's cool about us, and I know like there's not another restaurant or food service establishment like ours, is like when you support us, you're supporting the community. Your money stays here. Yeah, so log on, come see us.
Love it.
Yeah.
If you could nominate one other person for me to go talk to, who would that be?
Wow. I tell you what, Greg Collier comes to mind.
Greg
He's
Collier.
the owner of Lee and Louise, and he's also the owner of Uptown Yoke. I mentioned them earlier.
Yep.
But he's a good friend. I think he's an ambassador of hope and change in the area, and couldn't recommend him more.
Greg Collier, you've been called.
Chef Greg.
All right, I'll reach out to him.
Yeah, man.
If you can leave us with 3 words to remember you by, what would those be?
Make it nice.
Make it nice. Give me some.
Love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Sam Diminich, and I am everybody.